play the tune now for real.
P, and welcome to a special episode of the 305 History Podcast, where we talk 305 history, 305 culture, 305 everything. We have a special guest with us here. He's a Grammy Award-winning, multi-platinum engineer who has worked with the likes of Rick Ross, DJ Khaled, Jay-Z, to name a few, repping North Miami. Welcome, Mr. Eddie EMIX Hernandez.
What up?
How you
Appreciate
doing?
you.
How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm great. I'm blessed.
Blessed is good. All right, so let's get into some 305 history, okay?
Let's get into it.
Where does your Miami story begin?
My Miami story begins in North Miami.
Period.
I came to North Miami when I was 5 years old. From on the west side.
Okay.
Over there by the highway, and then it moved inward into the east side. I went to Gratney. I went to W.J. Bryan.
Okay.
North Miami Middle, North Miami Senior. So I'm all the way in.
Yeah, that was my next question. So you were in North Miami Senior when they did the whole switcheroo in ninth grade, or you were
right
there?
Before that.
Right before? Okay, cool. Yeah.
I was the last of the old school buildings. So I'm the original deal.
Original North Miami pioneer.
Still repping.
I fuck with it. So if you could bring a Miami landmark back that doesn't exist, that you could go to, even something that's kind of dead now, but which one would it be?
Grand Prix Racerama.
Period. I used to love going there.
I'll say it's a tie with that, and then even older school, Six Flags Atlantis.
Oh yeah, Six Flags.
Water park.
I never got to go there.
Yeah,
you been
dope.
there? I've heard stories.
Yeah.
Okay, so without being biased, what's your favorite Miami music era? Which one influenced you the most?
Influenced me the most had to be the 90s. Basically, Trick Daddy, the whole slip and slide movement, really, somewhere in there. And then obviously right before that was Poison Clan and a couple of the other groups there that I'm having a brain fart with. But definitely JT and Poison Clan going into Trick. And then Trick was the height.
Yeah.
So in all of that slip and slide. So that's definitely my favorite era. And of course, being biased, then we can go into the era that I've been a part of.
Right.
But definitely that 90s fueled what ended up becoming my career and making me want to do what I do.
Oh, nice. Okay, I agree with that too. That's mine too. Miami sports team. I don't know if you're a sports fan, but if you have to pick one, who are you a die-hard fan of?
It's hard, Miami's kind of crazy like that. But if I had to pick a team, it would definitely be the Hurricanes first.
Okay.
Then after the Hurricanes is going to be the Miami Heat.
Okay.
And then I always have a soft spot for the Marlins, just because my grandmother, we used to be damn near a part of the team. We go about 20, 30 games a year.
Really?
Because, back then, there used to be $4 tickets.
Oh, yeah. So I was there all the time.
We used to be in the nosebleeds. Everything used to be cheap, so we used to just go for no reason. So we went to all of that. Saw two of the World Series happen. Nice. So it was definitely a soft spot for them too.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great memories. I wish I could have done something like that.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so if you have somebody visiting Miami and you wanted to tell them this is a restaurant you have to go to, if you had to pick okay, this is defines Miami's flavor, which one would it be?
Ooh, that's
I know it's hard to choose one. You could do three.
I don't even know. It's weird with me with food because I kind of enjoy everybody's food for what it is. Definitely a Chef Creole or something that just because I lived next to Chef Creole.
Right.
On West Dixie there in North Miami. So I used to go to Chef Creole a lot, and I still go there. I love Peakley's.
Me too.
There's Abu Pan not too far from there. That's the real Zoes tell me that's the real. And then, there's just a couple different places that I can't even think of off the top of my head, but...
And that's how you know
Steve's
Miami.
Pizza.
You know Miami. You saying the Haitian spots, Steve's Pizza, and I fuck with it too.
Is my staple. I still go to Steve's. Shout out to Steve's. If you go there, you're going to see my EMIX stickers all over the place. I still rep. And then I don't know what a third would be. Man, I'm trying to think. That's messed up because I it's like I don't want to leave somebody out because I know I go somewhere. I'm gonna remember after this.
After, yeah, I was gonna say that. You're gonna be like, damn, why I didn't
But
say
shout
that?
out to those two for sure.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's get into some music. What inspired you to be an engineer as opposed to like a rapper or a producer?
Well, I was always since young listening to music. I always kind of heard the music a little deeper. You know, I would catch the little nuances in the background that like my friends wouldn't hear. I'd be like, "Yo, that part when they do that is so crazy," and they'd be like, "Huh?" So I knew there was something there that I just kind of listened to music a little different. And then, for the most part, I never was really a big fan of all this being in front of the camera and stuff like that. So I appreciated something that I could be creative and do my thing, but not necessarily always have to worry about everything else. I could kind of focus on the music and not worry about if my hair looks good or if I got the right outfit on or something like that.
Right.
So I like to be in my own little world and just be creative. And, you know, I started seeing videos on TV. There you see little clips of the studio. It was always very interesting to me. And I started reading up and I started hearing about people that would use the studio as an instrument itself. The EQs, the compressors, all of that stuff was its own instrument.
Right.
And you could learn how to use that and you're basically running the ship. You're really controlling the whole session. And you're kind of in charge of the vibe, the flow, and the creativity of the people that are actually, creating this thing from scratch.
Right.
Because everybody's that important in the room. So the more and more I learned about that kind of stuff, the more and more I fell in love, and the more and more I had passion for it and wanted to be like a player, like a real, in like a sports sense. I didn't want to be sitting the bench. I want to be a starter.
Right.
So whenever I'm in the studio, I want to be one of the key people that's contributing to this song. So, and still to this day, that I think that's one of the driving things that keeps me relevant is that I still have a passion.
Yeah.
Even though it's this artist's song and they're on the cover and they're going to do the video, I still own it as mine as well.
Right.
Because sonically, I feed from that where people say, oh man, it sounds so good, or the beat is hitting, or wow,
Right.
the way that breakdown did that. So all of that kind of fed into the passion of why I am an engineer,
That's a good way to
etc.
put it. You contributed to it like in a deep way that people.
Yes.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so you studied at Full Sail.
Yes.
What was that like?
Full Sail was cool, Full Sail's cool, but Full Sail can get, it's like anything creative thing that it feels cool and it's something that, you're having fun, but at the same time, you got to be on point. You got to be
Right.
locked in because you could mess around and be there the whole year and a half or whatever it was. I don't know what it is now. Back then, it was 12 months. And then you look up and you had a great time, but did you really retain the knowledge? Did you really get the experience that you needed to actually make this a career?
Right.
Sure, you could learn how to use the equipment and do this in your house and, it's a hobby. But how is this something that's going to feed you and the fam moving forward?
Right.
So I enjoyed it, but I was very militant. I barely graduated high school, and so I made a promise to myself and my parents that I ain't playing around. So when I went there, I wasn't playing around. I was
Tunnel
eating,
vision.
sleeping, and crapping it. You know what I'm saying? It was 24/7, and again that showed results. And so seeing those results from that has only fed me to always kind of be like that with this, where I have a good time and I enjoy it, but I'm also always taking this shit
Yeah.
super serious and super important. And then, so yeah, I graduated there and everything. And that did give me, the basics of what I needed to get at least to the next level, which
Right.
was just get in the door, get an internship, and then from there it was a whole nother learning experience from there.
Oh, that's awesome. Sounds like a great experience. You got the T-shirt on. What could you tell us about the Spectrum Theory?
Spectrum Theory is my company. I think I'm 8 years in now. Spectrum Theory's been up and running. We might be going on 10 now.
Oh wow.
I don't know. It's been so long. And I don't really pay attention to it too much. It's kind of a part of me. Spectrum Theory, basically, it's a theory and I had in my head one day. I don't know if I was on something or I was just loving life or I was just mixed the record and I felt great. But even like recently, I just mixed a song and I was doing a breakdown and I got these goosebumps. And
yeah.
sometimes when I'm working on stuff, I'll even tear up because it's just so hard to me and it's so dope. And the Spectrum Theory basically is basically affecting all 5 senses. primarily from my angles from sound. So where somebody could, hear a record and cry, or you feel something in your chest, man, like, like you're talking about love lost or something and you feel it. That's the theory of trying to, really impact the listener more so than just what they're hearing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They stop provoking. You could, like I said, you could get goosebumps. You could feel it in your skin. So the spectrum theory was always that, the spectrum of sound, which also there's the spectrum of colors.
Right.
And so all of that, the frequencies and how those things impact all the senses is how I explained it to myself, where it made sense.
It makes sense. It sounds, I get it. People don't really see it that way. So that's a good way to deliver your craft to people. I love that. Okay, so how did you link up with Rick Ross?
I met Ross. I was actually working on Uncle Luke's album. This is probably late 04, early 05. I was working on Rick Ross's Uncle Luke's album. This was his last album. So because this was his last album, the word was kind of put out to the Miami hip hop scene. Like, so everybody wanted to be a part of it.
Right.
So Trick came. That was the first time I met Trick.
Oh, nice.
Trina. I basically was introduced to the Miami rap scene as Uncle Luke's guy. So when I came in, I already had like a heavy cosign. So because of that, I did go on to work with Trick. I did go on to work with Trina, JT Money. All of those things came from that relationship.
Okay.
At the time, Rick Ross didn't have his own project out. He was working on mixtapes, and he caught the ear of Disco Rick, which was a mentor of mine. He still is, my big brother, and he still gives me game to this day. But at the time, he was like technically my manager as well. And so he was A&R in the Uncle Luke project, and he caught wind of Rick Ross's mixtape and played it for us. And Luke loved it, and Luke was like, bring him in. And so that's how I met Ross coming in to do a feature for Uncle Luke's album, which the song came out. That was the first time I recorded it, edited it, mixed it. It's a song called Oh My God, Uncle Luke featuring Rick Ross and Dirtbag.
Okay. Oh, yeah, Dirtbag.
So I met him then, and then almost immediately we just kind of hit it off. I was actually very impressed with his style. It was different at the time, nobody had heard no style like that.
Right.
It was either Trick or it was like dance.
Yeah, from Miami, definitely.
Right, so he had that different
Lyrical.
sound, different lyrics. He was spitting a little different. People would say it sounded like New York, but it wasn't New York.
Right.
It was unique to its own because it was still coming from the crib. And yeah, it just kind of sprouted from there. A couple years later, I'm his head engineer on Deepen and Rap, et cetera, et cetera.
The rest is history, as they say. Okay, so is he the first artist you mixed for that's like a major artist, or was it Luke?
Luke was Luke was the first one I mixed his whole album for sure. But I was already recording for major artists. I was Grammy nominated for Ludacris Stand Up recording.
Nice.
We should have won, but we got beat out by Eminem. He had the Lose Yourself record that like took over.
Right.
So he wasn't gonna win. But yeah, I had recorded a lot of artists up until that point. But Luke's album was the first album project that I fully recorded, mixed, and just did everything, edited it.
Okay.
Then Ross came later, and then Ross was, definitely, I even took on more hats with him where I was A&Ring, producing, and doing all of that on top of the recording and mixing, etc.
Oh, okay. Nice. How was A&Ring? Like, how was it juggling so many like different things? I can imagine.
It's just you're just like in a hurricane,
Yeah.
It's just shit is happening real time. You might have got these things done, but then there's it's just you look over and there's 10 more things to do, so you're constantly juggling. And at the time I hadn't done so much.
Right.
So it was definitely freaking me out. And I had my moments there where I was like, man, maybe I don't know if I'm cut out for this. Is this the big boy level all the way? So it was, but it wasn't. It was definitely, I was taking on a lot more. But because of that experience, I've been able to, implement that throughout the rest of my career, where now that's just my regular hustle.
That pressure makes diamonds.
So I'm constantly like that. I'm constantly pushing and I kind of want more. I'm like, is that it? Are we done?
Now you crave the chaos a little bit because it's like, okay.
It's a blessing and a curse.
Right.
Like, I want it, but I don't. But I'm good at it.
Right. Okay, so Grammy award-winning engineer.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How did that moment feel? Like, how did it change your career?
I don't know. It's funny because it does and it doesn't, because of how we work. and how those awards get awarded, that's almost a year after that project was released.
Right.
So you're constantly grinding. I'm on to the next project.
Right.
Even when I worked on it, which I won the Grammy with Megan Thee Stallion, recording Megan Thee Stallion, Savage.
Yeah.
So Savage and then the Savage remix. So we did that, I think 2019-ish, right before the pandemic hit.
Oh yeah.
So, and then, you know, we were all in pandemic on lockdown during 2020 when the Grammy was awarded. So I was at home, you know, so we got to see it on TV. And it was nice. We celebrated, you know, all that. But, and, you know, you get hyped because, again, it's more validating me than as far as my career blowing up or anything like
Right.
that. It's just like, man, you know.
My work.
Something that I work towards, and here it is.
Right.
But what it immediately does is, hey man, we got to go back in.
Right. Now you in demand.
Now
like-
I got it. Yes, yes. So calls did come and stuff like that, and it was okay. Now I'm milking this and making sure the brand is getting out there. Definitely let everybody know on the socials.
Right.
Grammy
You know what it
Award
is.
winning.
You know what it is.
And you know, and then just last year, you know, I was nominated for mixing Cardi B's Enough record, Miami.
Nice, I saw that.
Quotations. So, you know, it went from recording, Megan winning, and now here I am to the next step, nominated for mixing.
Nice.
And so that was almost more rewarding to me because this is me taking those steps.
Right.
You know, so going from just a recording engineer, boom, now a winner as a recording engineer. Now here I am nominated as a mixing engineer.
Right.
And hopefully, you know, I'll be a Grammy Award winning mixing engineer as well. So all of that just, it kind of feeds the drive pushing forward. So if it's not more, like I said, going back to not blowing me up or nothing on my career up, but just validating the drive and seeing that this is working. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it.
Right. Don't doubt yourself.
Right.
Even when it feels like it's hard as shit, like keep
100%.
going. Because that's when it feels like it's like, okay, that's when you're about to pop off.
Because that never stops.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe other people, or maybe people faking it, but
Right.
me, I'm always questioning. I'm always, is this good enough? Is this dope? Because it's a scary business. It's a scary business that, you know, we curate, you know, dope sounds, dope music. But who's here to say what's dope?
Right.
Especially when you're trying to be ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
When you're trying to do something that nobody else has done yet.
Right.
So now you're out on a limb.
Yeah.
And you think this is dope. But now you got to present it to the world, and
hope that they do.
and they're the official people that are gonna let you know.
They give you that last stamp to be like, I knew it, you know?
Right.
So for people that don't know, what's the difference between a mixing engineer and a recording engineer?
Well, there's actually 3 phases. The way we break it down, I guess technically, is recording, mixing, and mastering.
Uh-huh.
So recording obviously is more or less just doing all the principal recording, the initial stuff.
Okay.
They're in the studio with the artist while they're creating. They're, you know, they're all night with them until it gets done.
Right.
The mixing engineer usually receives all that once they've done their little edits and stuff, but it's still rough. Still not ready for the radio.
Right.
So they'll send that to the mix engineer. Mix engineer will chop it up, clean it up, wipe it down, you know, make it squeaky clean, make the vocals
Pop.
shine, put all the effects in there and stuff like that. And then you know, mastering is just that last like wax.
Right.
You know, if it was a car, you know, I might do the paint job and do all the designs, but then mastering is just gonna put that nice sheen
That last
gloss on that thing.
Right.
So there's the 3 phases. So those are that's the basic difference.
Right. And you do it all.
I do it all.
Okay, good.
And so I'm doing it right now with Ross's new project that we're working on now.
Okay, we
Top
got
to
it.
bottom.
Can't wait for that. So, okay, if there's a hip hop album that you feel like, which one is it that has the best or most incredible mixing on it? Because I know you listen to it on a different level, but if there's one hip hop album that you could be like, this is a masterpiece that you obviously didn't have a hand in, which one would you say it is?
That's a good question. It's a good question because sometimes hip hop, even rock and roll, is this way where it's not necessarily got to be the greatest sounding technically. Like it doesn't need to be pristine. Sometimes the grittiness of it is what makes
Right.
it special.
Gives it that, yeah, extra.
But I mean, I think the first thing that comes to mind is like a Criminal for like, you know, Outkast.
Yes.
I think that's a perfectly sonically well done album. Of course, like a lot of people always reference Dr. Dre's Chronic 2001 as being like a sonic reference. Like,
Right.
anybody that's an engineer or producer has listened to that just to study it.
Right.
You know, you're not even listening to the words no more. You just like zoned in, listening to the crack of the snare and the way the kick drum is hitting. And then beyond that, I love Nas' first album, Illmatic. You know, just because again,
That has that grittiness.
it's got a grittiness to it, and then you can even get grittier with Wu-Tang.
Right. Yeah.
It's real like
Goes
ugh.
there.
But it's in a good way.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you know, now sometimes I'm kind of like an audio snob where I listen to something now and be like, oh my God. But I never knew that when I was a fan hearing it for the first time. I just knew there was something there that gave me something that
That feeling.
that was this is hard.
Yeah.
So sometimes you don't always want to go for it. Just depends, you know, with the artist and with the song where you want to go with it. Do you want to be pristine with this, or do you want it to kind of have a little grit, a little feel the streets, feel that?
Right.
So that
Yeah, that usually comes from like the actual song itself and the direction the artist is headed in.
Right.
Like you kind of fill it up and be like, you know, I got to do less or more with this.
100%.
Yeah.
There's a saying they, you know, with a lot of I tell a lot of young engineers as well, and I always remind myself is you got to service the song. You got to do what's best for the song.
Right.
Don't do always what you think. This is you know, it's not about me.
Right.
It's not about none of us behind the scenes. It's about the artist, their message, and the feeling they're trying to portray. So you kind of listen to the record for a while sometimes before you even touch a
Touch it.
fader or put an EQ on something to really understand what are they trying to do here? What's the feeling here?
Right. What feeling does it give me?
Right.
Yeah. And after listening to a couple of times, I can see that's how you did it.
Yeah.
Okay. Who do you feel is like your GOAT engineer, mixer, like somebody who you feel like, man, that's that guy or girl,
There's a lot of goats.
or an album, you know?
Well, there's only one girl I really know of. Well, there's two.
Okay.
But there's Alicia Keys, that's what's her name? What's her name? I'm having a brain fart. Total disrespect. But she's like the shit.
Okay.
But she doesn't do hip hop, so that's one thing.
Okay.
And then there's Miss Lago, which she's been doing it for a long time. She went to Full Sail as well. I think she graduated a year before I did.
Okay.
But as far as like goats, definitely Bob Power comes to mind. He did all the early Tribe Called Quest stuff.
Okay.
Which at the time, those were the GOAT. And maybe that's even one of the records I should have said earlier about sonically what
Right.
we're going for is like the early Tribe Called Quest stuff. Bob Power was the man behind that. Then you got guys like newer guys are like, you know, the Mike Deans and Duro. There's a lot of guys. I'm trying to think. There's one other person that for sure. Oh, which he's my namesake, is Eddie Sancho.
Okay.
Eddie Sancho mixed everything that DJ Premier ever did.
Oh, wow.
So when you think of DJ Premier, the stuff he did with Biggie, the stuff he did with Jay-Z, the stuff he did with Nas, Eddie Sancho,
He's that guy,
he's that guy. So if there's one guy, I ain't gonna lie,
Eddie Sancho.
and man, I was so excited when I got to link up with him on social. And still to this day, man, I get excited every time I post like a new song or something, and he's in the likes.
Yeah.
And I said, man, Eddie like.
No matter where you at, you like, man, you still got your people that you're like excited about.
Yeah, the GOAT
That's what's
fucks
up.
with it. I'm excited. I'm happy.
Well, damn, thank you. Okay, thank you for chopping it up with us. It has been an honor. Go ahead and let the
Likewise.
people know where they can follow you and what you got coming up and what you got going on.
Yeah, so you can follow me at EMIX 305. That's damn near all socials for the most part. I also have a podcast that I'm working on right now. It's kind of been chilling, but it's coming back. It's Sonics
Okay.
with EMIX. So I think that's Sonics_W_EMIX. You know, I'm still working with Sexy Red. I've done like the last couple singles for her, which I did all the other stuff for her, Getting Sexy, Ski, and all that. And I also got Rob 49. I did What the Helly with him. I've done most of his projects. He's got a project coming out.
Damn, bangers, banger after banger.
And then I did Kodak's last single for his album. I did Cardi B's Don't Do Too Much on the bonus for her project.
Okay.
And then currently I'm working on Ross's project, which we got a title, but I'm not revealing it yet.
Okay.
We got a lot of dope features so far, but we still in the final stages, looking for that last minute magic. But yeah, I'm back like the good old days. It's been a minute because I was, you know, I've always been family, but I was kind of doing my solo thing, and he had a new team with. But now we had a meeting of the minds again. It was like, nah, we got to bring this thing back. So I'm
that
back
whole thing back.
from the ground up, recording it, editing it, mixing it, bringing in beats, all of that. So just like I was telling you, that passion previous is I'm putting everything into it, just like this is my project. So
Yeah.
I'm excited about it. You
I'm
should be looking
excited
at that.
too.
At the
Definitely
top of,
looking forward
next
to
year.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you again for sitting down with us. And you guys, thank you for tuning in, where we talk 305 history, 305 culture, 305 everything. Till next time. Thank
Peace.
you.